Good morning, everyone. So I've had a couple of interesting experiences as a dad. I'm sure those of you that are parents have had similar experiences yourselves. But I remember on one particular occasion, my family and I were out in Spain on a family vacation. And we're in Barcelona, and we're on a very, very busy train. We must have gotten on the train just as university had finished for the afternoon. It was jam-packed, filled, our carriage, with university students. And very difficult to find a seat. Everyone is pressed up against each other. It's very congested, this train. And of course, at the time, I think we had about 6 children. And that's a very challenging thing to do, to jump on a train that's as congested as it is, with 6 little kids and a pushchair and all that type of thing. And anyway, we got on the train, and to my delight, everyone on the carriage was cooing and gooing over our youngest child. He was still in diapers, blonde hair, big blue eyes, and he just kind of grabbed everyone's attention. And so I was loving it. I was feeling this very, very proud moment as a father. As you can imagine, we've all had those moments, haven't we, where people do that. Well, Kim was sat down on one of the benches with the baby on her lap, and I was stood holding onto a rail, holding one of the little ones, just because it's a bumpy ride. Well, all of a sudden, I hear this kind of commotion going on just in my periphery, in the direction of where Kim is. And Kim comes over to me in a panic, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And she's wearing this beautiful long-sleeved white shirt, and she's got this dark brown big mark stain on her arm, right? And I'm like, "What's happened?" She's like, "Quick, hold the baby. His diaper has leaked," right? And I grabbed him. I'm like, what do you mean it's leaked? And it was the worst. I mean, we've all had that, right? Where it will leak from time to time. It doesn't contain itself. This was the most disastrous leakage I'd ever experienced ever. And it was on a busy train. It's like it had all come out and gone right onto the train floor. So as a result of it being not just on her arm, but on the floor, everyone had just gone, "Whoa, step back," right? And everything changed from being, "Oh, you've got the most adorable baby in the world," to "Stay away from us," right? It was a disaster. And we didn't have things with us to kind of clear it up. Kim didn't have a change of clothes, for what do I do with this shirt now? And as you can imagine, it was just horrific. But why do I share this? Well, we got off the train and I was overwhelmed with just embarrassment and stress and anxiety over that situation, and trying to clear up the mess and just turn a bad situation into a good situation. It was difficult. And I learned in that moment from my wife, Kim, a valuable lesson. Sometimes it's good just to laugh. Yeah. And sometimes it's good just to laugh. And my subject today is the importance of laughter in our business. The importance of having a positive, uplifting, happy disposition in the way that we conduct ourselves in our network marketing business. This is really important. I was studying just recently, I'm not sure if any of you have read from this book, but I absolutely love it. Daniel Goleman is the leading authority, in my opinion, on emotional intelligence. This is called New Leaders: Transforming the Art of Leadership into the Science of Results. It's a powerful, powerful book. I'm leaving it up here because I can see some people are making notes of the book. I highly recommend it. He's written a couple of other books on this as well, but I highly recommend you get it. I want to read out a couple of points that he mentions in regards to leadership and laughter. He says, I want to first start by reading this point out here. He says, the continual interplay of the limbic open loops among members of groups. Let me just put this in perspective real quick. He says the limbic system in our brain is an open loop system, meaning it depends on the interplay of relationships with other people in order for us to get balance. Other systems in our body, our skeletal system, our circulatory system, our lymphatic system, what have you, they don't require interplay from others in order for us to get balance. Correct? That doesn't, if I come into your room or into your day and I'm in a bad mood with you, for example, that doesn't change your skeletal system or your circulatory. It doesn't have an impact there, but it does with your limbic system. Yeah. So what we see is, and I can use a real simple example of this with laughter. Have you ever walked into a room where someone has cracked a joke? You haven't heard the joke, but everyone in the room is laughing. What have you done? Have you started laughing too? And then ask the question, what's so funny? Why am I laughing? Yeah, we do that, don't we? So it's really interesting to see, even if we don't know what the joke is, it still inclines us to laugh if everyone else in the room is laughing. At the same time, if the atmosphere is tense, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife and you go, oh, you walk into a room where someone's just had an argument, you can feel it, can't you? Maybe you want to back out the room a little bit and change things around. So he says here, so with that being the case, let me just give the context. The continual interplay of limbic open loops among members of a group creates a kind of emotional soup with everyone adding his or her own flavor to the mix. I want you to think about that for a second. Here in this room right now, in our organizations, in our businesses, everyone's emotional contribution adds to the mix of our business, and it facilitates the collective success of our activity. It's interesting that, isn't it? It says, but why is it the leader who adds the strongest seasoning? He says, but it is the leader who adds the strongest seasoning. Why? Because of that enduring reality of business. Everyone watches the boss. Yeah. Now, I want to emphasize here that you are the leader of your own business. We're in business as a team, but I want us to emphasize this critical point. Each of us individually are leaders of our own organizations. And that means that we set the tone for our emotional soup, collective soup of our business, of our team. All of your downline will look to you. They will all look to you as the boss. So as you work with your customers, as you work with your business partners, as you work with your downline, you need to understand they will all look to you more than anyone else when you realize you're the boss of your business. That being the case, we need to have the right emotional tone in order to set the right temperature and build our business well. So this is why I come on to the point of laughter. Or why laughter as a critical point, or as a valuable subject or quality versus maybe sobriety or being a little bit more sober-minded and having a more serious tone. Why is laughter an important quality? Well, interestingly, of all of the emotions that we have, they don't all spread with the same ferocity as each other. Some spread faster than most, and some don't spread at all. Okay, so this is what they've found. Emotions may spread like viruses, they said, but not all with the same ease. A study at Yale University School of Management found that among working groups, cheerfulness and warmth spread the most easily. I like that. Cheerfulness and warmth spread the most easily, while irritability is less contagious and depression spreads hardly at all. That's interesting. So if you're in your business feeling depressed about your outcomes and results, it may be you're the only one feeling that way. Maybe others are a little bit more optimistic. Maybe others are feeling a little better about it. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we're spreading the right emotions within our organization and recognizing what the real tone is. And here's a fun one. In a neurological sense, laughing represents the shortest distance between two people, because it instantly interlocks limbic systems. Instantly. So that being the case, if we can have a chance, create opportunities within our businesses to laugh together, we're going to lock limbic systems and build relationships faster than any other thing. Isn't that fun? No surprise then, it says that people who relish each other's company laugh easily and often. In any work setting, the sound of laughter signals the group's emotional temperature, offering one sure sign that people's hearts, as well as their minds, are engaged. It says here, a good laugh sends a reassuring message. We're on the same wavelength, we get along. It signals trust, comfort, and a shared sense of the world. As a rhythm in a conversation, laughing signals that all is well for the moment. So, that being said, I want to ask a critical question. What are some ways that we can integrate laughter into our business? Because I think there are certainly some wonderful opportunities that we have in front of us. Here are some ways that I think we can come up with in order to bring laughter into the moment and enjoy what we're doing. First, let's make sure that we don't take ourselves too seriously. Like me on the train versus my wife on the train. Kim had a wonderful way to laugh that moment off. She was the one covered in poop, not me. And yet she laughed it off, right? Whilst I was very anxious and concerned about what other people would think about me. Yeah, I took myself too seriously. So let's learn to not do that. Let's learn to have a laugh. And if something doesn't go our way, we can laugh a little bit, brush it off and move forwards. Yeah. Social events. Our country is starting to open up in the US. I'm not sure about Canada. I need to perhaps chat with some of my Canadian friends, but I know in where I'm at right now in California, the world is starting to open up a little bit. My family's just gone back into lockdown in Australia, unfortunately. It goes in cycles, it would appear. But if we've got opportunities to have some social events and get together, when we're connecting with people, let's be sure to find a way to have fun in what we're doing. Make sure that we're integrating fun and business. It's very easy to just talk business and just talk shop if we're having a business meeting, yeah? But if we can find a way to laugh with other people, to have a joke, to lighten the mood, to make it warm and enjoyable and entertaining, I think that will go a long way. So if you're having networking events and you're getting back into that space where those meetings are kicking off again, find a way to laugh with people and to have that opportunity. Celebrating success, again, is another one that I think is really important. What are some ways that we can celebrate success with our teams and bring that sense of warmth and camaraderie and team spirit and enjoyment back into our groups? Let's look at getting creative in the ways that we do that. We've had to do that for the last year and a half with the lack of travel being at our disposal. But are there ways that we can get together, celebrate success in a different way and have some fun? Maybe we have some ways that we celebrate some failures. Now you might go, why would I celebrate failure? Because success is all about failing forwards. Yeah. So maybe it's, we're all setting a goal as a team to reach out to at least 20 people this week, right? And we're going to celebrate the first person that gets a no. What does that mean? The first person that gets a no is probably the one that started first. Yeah. So we can celebrate getting no's, because the more no's we get, the more we're going to be on track to getting our yeses. Yeah. So there can be lots of ways that we can celebrate and have a laugh, and that will take the pressure off. Won't that take the pressure off? If we say to our team members, we're going to have a fun little incentive here. We're going to do one of these Nick and Now calls, these power hours, where we're going to get our contact lists out. We're going to reach out to as many people as we can, get back and share our stories. We've done this on my calls a few times, but we're going to have some treats for this. We're going to have some fun activities. Maybe I'm going to have an Amazon gift card at the ready that I can share online with the winner. It's very easy to do something like that. And the winner of the gift card is the first person to get 3 no's. Yeah. And that takes, it just means if I get a no, I'm not feeling beaten up or bruised. I'm not going to be so scared jumping on my phone and making appointments and connecting with people. It'd just be a nice light way. Then we can have a laugh about it. We can joke about it. And amongst the no's, you know what's going to happen? They're going to have some yeses. But we get the no's out the way. We take care of that. We celebrate that. And then we go, but the genius is, look at the yes that you got. And that can just be a little bit nicer to feel and to deal with. So let's look at ways that we can do that. Like I said, we can do that in the form of contests and what have you. Recognition is a great way. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. And look at ways that we can give gifts to our team in order to build the fun into what we're doing. I think if we can just be very generous here in the way that we can connect with our teams, help them feel loved, help them feel valued, help them feel a part of our business and a part of our lives, I think that's really important. So let's look at some ways that we can just connect with people and celebrate them in any way that we can. Like I said, that just to me really helps. And the last point that I would suggest is dream boarding. We do that a little bit in Niken already, don't we? But maybe within that dream board, there might be some fun stuff that we want to do that we haven't considered before. What do I mean by fun stuff? Well, this is the interesting thing. As kids, we laugh. I think that the statistics around laughter as a child, let me pull it up here. The average child laughs 400 times a day. 400 times a day. That's insane, that, isn't it? And the average adult will laugh 15 times a day. Oh, what a difference that is. Yeah, 15 times a day. So the critical thing, I think, is we need to be more like children, learn to laugh more. I think the more we can let our guard down a little bit, be willing to be a little bit more vulnerable and be willing to laugh, be willing to play and experiment that way, I think the more our natural self comes out. Because I think when we're playing and laughing and having fun, I think it's at those moments where our real personalities start to shine and come out. Yeah. When our guard is up, when we are more concerned about what other people around us are thinking and observing of us, we're protecting ourselves a little bit. But when we let that guard down and we're willing to have fun and play, then I think the real us comes out. And that's when I think we start to be more, not just more authentic, but happier as well. Barbara Richmond, you got your hand up. Did you want to say something?
I have found, Ben, that even now we're still in restrictions.
Yeah.
However, with a new consultant, I've had the opportunity to do some demonstrations with a couple of people that she's invited. And when you do the first demo, they always think there's some trickery to it.
Yeah.
Then what I do is I get the guests to do the demo on each other. And that removes the trickery, and the laughter just keeps building and building, so that they're having so much fun with it. They don't feel like they're being sold to, but it's creating curiosity about what our technologies can do. And it takes the sales away, but they become much more interested in the product and the benefits, and
Yeah.
eventually a sale results.
Yeah.
But when you have a group of people and they're doing it on each other, everybody else is watching. They're expecting a different result. The result is always the same, but it just generates that positive energy within the room.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You're right. Demos are a great way to bring that uplifting energy across the board within a room, within a group environment. Very, very true. So I want you to think, are there any ways that you can think of right now, as we've been discussing this, where you've seen humor work for you? Anything, any situations where having a good sense of humor has helped you deal with a difficult situation, or it has helped you deal with a team environment, building up your team and just building camaraderie? Any thoughts on that?
I'd like to add one thing if I could.
Yeah.
Richard Brooke made the comment that our very best consultants are the people that have said no.
Mm.
And going back to one of your presentations some time ago, you said it takes 8 to 12 connections
Yeah.
before somebody might be ready to say yes.
That's
And
right.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what Richard Brooke was referring to with what you had said.
Mm.
You know, you're planting the seed, you're nurturing it each time you connect with them. And then all of a sudden they're ready to take a real serious look and maybe
Yeah.
jump in.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. I like that. Karen, you got your hand up.
Yes. Good morning. I think Kim, using Kim as an example, she was laughing at herself. She was
Mm.
laughing at the situation. When we find the humor in something that we've done
Yeah.
or something that we've said, we are great examples for the people around us. And it encourages their growth and their comfort level. We're being authentic.
Yeah.
And I really think that's a benefit to all of us.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's the great way to be authentic, is to be willing to poke fun at ourselves. Yeah. Our own quirks. Yeah. And if we can do that, I think we'll go a long way in just feeling comfortable in our own skin. And when we're comfortable in our own skin, being comfortable in approaching others as well. Because often the hesitation and the fear that we have in building our businesses is really, what will people think of me? Yeah, that's really where a lot of the fear comes from, isn't it? What will people think of me? They're saying no to me and they're rejecting me. But if I can laugh at myself, if I can have a joke at my own expense, right, in a positive way, in an uplifting way, yeah, and take my quirks and have a laugh at them and turn it on its head, then when someone says no to me, I'm not going to take it too seriously. If something goes wrong and it doesn't go in my favor, I'm going to be able to handle it a little better. If something in my group doesn't go according to plan, I can work that through and have a laugh, and we'll find a way through. And I think that is really helpful in creating a great temperature of confidence and courage within the team. Wouldn't it be great?
It's interesting. I have found myself at times saying something,
Yeah.
and I just go, you don't know what to do after that, and I'll just go, I can't believe I just said that, and it does break the tension in the room, if anybody who's feeling any anxiety.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. I'll finish with one last story and then we'll conclude. I was at a social event with a network marketing event, and there was a dance on. And for those of you that know me, I'm scared to death of dancing. The dance floor is my biggest foe. My arch nemesis is the dance floor. Kim, however, loves it. She loves to dance. And she was here. It was a beautiful night out, beautiful. It was like some 4 or 5 course dinner, live band, big dance floor. And at the end of the dance floor, at the other end of the room from where we were sat, it had a floor to ceiling mirror, right? And I was sat there, and I know what always happens with me. If I don't get on the dance floor quickly, my fear will grow and grow and grow throughout the night, to the point where I just can't get on the dance floor. I can't do it, right? And it goes from a courteous, I don't think so, to a very confident, no, right? I just can't, right? So I thought this night was all about, I wanted Kim to have a good time, right? She had traveled a long way to be at this event. I was grateful that she was with me by my side. We'd had this wonderful dinner. She'd had a wonderful evening. And so I thought, okay, let's get onto the dance floor quickly. So as soon as there were enough people on the dance floor that I could hide a little bit, yeah, so that I wasn't too exposed to the rest of the group, right? I could get in the mix of them a little bit and be disguised amongst everyone else. I picked my moment and jumped up onto the dance floor with Kim and pulled her on. And she was, oh, this is great, right? So that was very early on in the evening. And as the evening went on, I found that I was loosening up a little bit. And I thought, hey, you know what? I'm actually starting to get a little comfortable here. I'm feeling like you know, my arms and shoulders are relaxed. My hips are moving. I think I'm feeling pretty good, right? I think this is good. So in naive confidence, I kind of shimmied our way over to the other end of the dance floor where the floor to ceiling mirror was to check myself out, right? To go, I think I'm looking good, right? I want to see what this looks like. I went over there, and to my surprise, I found the most rigid, stiff, uptight looking dancing I've ever come across in my life. And I thought, this is me feeling relaxed. What must I look like when I'm not, right? This was horrific to me. So I thought, well, let's go to the other end of the dance floor, right? We'll leave that mirror alone for the rest of the evening. And we stayed back. I stayed on the dance floor, but I had learned at that point, just let it go, have a laugh, stay on the dance floor, spend your time with Kim. Sometimes what we expect will happen may not happen, yeah? But again, my point is, let's just learn to laugh. Let's not take ourselves too seriously. One of the best ways that we can introduce laughter into our business is to identify that critical point. Let's not take ourselves too seriously. I want to conclude on this thought. You, each of you, are the leaders of your own business. You are the leaders of your own business. You all have customers that look to you. You all have downlines that will look to you. If you don't have them now, you will have them down the road. They will look to you more than anyone else for the emotional temperature of what they should feel. You are the gauge. And the best way to set a great temperature, the fastest way, is to learn to laugh with people. A great way to laugh with people is to not take yourself so seriously. It sets them at ease, helps them feel comfortable, and then it gives them a voice when they're with you. When they know that you don't take yourself seriously, they get much more relaxed in sharing their own thoughts and feelings. Yeah. So if you want to have that great temperature, if you want to really do well in building a team environment, learn to laugh, learn to not take yourself so seriously, have fun in what you're doing. And when things don't go your way, that's okay. Have a laugh, brush it off, and keep moving forwards. I hope this helps. If you've had some bumps in the road this past week, brush it off, have a laugh. Let's keep going. And let's have a great week this coming week too. Love you very much, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.